right, we're gonna call the July 15th, 2026 Rollingwood City Council meeting to order, and we will start with roll call.
Brooke Brown.
Kevin Show.
Phil McDuffie.
Sarah Hudson. Oh. Kevin, are you
Remote.
remote? Are you there? You just have your computer on, or are you actually in front of it?
It shows mute.
Kevin Glasheen, unmute yourself if you're in front of your computer. Okay, well, we will assume that he is not actually in front of his computer at the moment, and maybe he will. There you are. Are you there, Kevin? Okay, I guess not. Okay, we will start with public comments.
Yes, no actual public comments, but,
Okay, so nobody's, all right. We are going to call up agenda item number 10 first.
So Kevin says he can't hear us currently. Yeah, he says he can't hear us. And he's unmuted right now, it appears. So maybe we can't hear him either. I hear a little mumbling.
Can you hear us now?
No sound.
Well, I'm unmuted, but I can't hear you.
Oh, there we
can
go.
hear you
Now we-
barely now.
Can you hear us?
He can't hear us. We can hear him. Great.
Turn it back and start over again. Can you hear us now, Kevin?
you might have to turn on YouTube. But you can't hear that.
He rejoined, still no audio.
I don't know.
Can we just turn it off and turn it on again?
He did.
No, us.
Oh, yeah.
there's the camera.
Oh,
Can you hear us, Kevin? Well, now we've got echo. Do we, that's not gonna work. Yeah, but you're echoing.
actually, he's not echoing, we are.
Okay, well. Yes. Okay, now we're not echoing. He can hear us, yes. We did roll call. Are you here, Kevin? Okay,
Spirit.
all right. We also have city administrator, city attorney, city, not secretary. Assistant to the city administrator, and our, Nikki has a new director of community development, and our police chief, and our assistant to the police chief, and our accounting, head of our accounting department too, so all staff accounted for. All right, like I said, we are going to call up agenda item number 10. Discussion and possible action to recognize and thank the staff, volunteers, and community sponsors of the Rollingwood 4th of July Parade and Party in the Park. And Sandra Farrell is going to speak.
Hello, I'm Sandra Farrell, 3223 Park Hills Drive, and Christina Feldot and I co-chaired the Rollingwood 4th of July Parade and Party in the Park. So, well, I have really a lot of people to thank for their willingness to help with this year's parade and party. It was only a success because so many residents and so much of the staff helped me out, and we all came together, you know. I wish Mayor Massengill was here because I wanted to thank him for all his hard work in preparing the burgers and hot dogs and putting up that huge grill, cooking in 100-degree weather, it felt like, and to thank Holly, too, for being there beside him, cooking with him, and helping serve. So, and I wanted to also thank him for his speech, reminding us of our great community and country. I'd like to thank Izzy, Carlos, and the rest of the Public Works Department. Their work was invaluable, getting the grounds ready, hanging the banner, moving boxes from the top shelf, putting out barriers, and helping with setup and takedown. I also have special gratitude to Sarah Hudson and Brooke Brown for all the many ways that they helped in planning this event. They were my liaisons for the city, and they kept me in line or in time to do things the right way. So, but I also wanted to thank all the council members for coming to the parade and participating in the parade. It was really nice to have everybody there, and so I just wanted to thank you and thank Alan and the city staff for volunteering at the parade to keep our parade moving smoothly, and all the rave notifications you put out. Thank you, Crystal Munoz, wherever, there you are, okay. And the Rollingwood Police Department, closing down the streets, leading our parade, and directing the bikes and kids, keeping everyone safe. Thank you. Many residents helped with planning this event. Christina Feldot was my co-chair, and she was invaluable. Patsy Ryder, Maria Abernathy, Amy Rung, Bridget Logue, Shanti Jayakumar, Elise Black, Deb Saluziniak, Sarah Hudson, and Brooke Brown, Kathy Borth, Pari Shock, and Marnie Fitzgerald. And our wonderful MC, Eric Watts, and our own Rolling Wood musician who helped, or who led the music of Big Y's Big Brass Band. And they really added so much to the parade. I also wanted to thank Eric Hopkins and Cub Scout Pack 66. They carried our banner and led the pledge. Trianon gave us their burlap sacks for the sack races. And Steve Wertheimer couldn't be with us for the parade, but he provided the antique cars, 5 or 6 of the cars for the parade, which really made it fun. You know, his little red hot rod, I think, was really liked. Trader Joe's donating 300 waters and watermelons, and I wanted to read our raffle prizes because if you go by there, thank them for donating to us. They were very generous with us. Baldinucci, Bruegger's Bagels, Geek Window Cleaning, Grove Hill, Hudson Clothing Company, Jim Hinkle's Pickleball Lessons, Julian Gold, Longevity Pilates, Maj House, Pepitas, Pilates 360, Perry Berry, Refined Aesthetics, Skin Spirit, St. Bernard, Todd Council Artwork, Tomlinson's Pet, Wild Birds Unlimited, and Yeti. So, it wouldn't have happened if everybody didn't come together, I will say that. So, thank you. Yeah,
It was wonderful.
thank you.
Okay, Santi?
Mayor not here, but I'm addressing him, and Mayor Pro Tem Sarah Hudson, Council. This year's, I'm adding on to what Sandra just said, because it's not enough to just say it. We need to embellish it some more. So, this year's July 4th parade and celebrations were especially meaningful. They marked the nation's 250th birthday since the Declaration of Independence in 1776, and the 48th year of our own parade and park celebrations, which began in 1978. I look forward to our 50th anniversary in 2028. We had a band led by our own Rollingwood resident. He grew up the Pickwick Lane right here, and Wyatt Corder providing patriotic music on the parade route and later at the park. Longtime resident and first-time MC Eric Watts entertained us with witty remarks that kept the audience regaled. We had our mayor, I wish you were here today, but who anchored the celebration at the park with his signature hot dog and hamburger stand. Stand does not quite do justice because he probably had a 10-foot by 4-foot, what do you call it, grill that was massive, and he provided, he had multiple burners delivering a continuous stream of hot dogs and burgers. He was ably assisted by First Lady Holly and son Mace. We are familiar with how being a mayor also on occasion includes rescuing cats from trees. I think Tom has done that before, and many other things they do behind the scenes to make the city go forward. I believe that Mayor Massingle has surpassed all those accolades by becoming possibly, and this is me saying it, the only grill master mayor in all of Central Texas. Y'all be the judge of it, because I'm not at all biased about the food because I'm a vegetarian and did not partake of the meal the mayor prepared. This was the opinion of those who came and left with compliments to the mayor and his team. Then, as far as the staff is concerned, when it comes to our city staff, that includes the police and our public works, I am biased. They went above and beyond with their unstinting support for every detail that needed to be worked out so we could guarantee a successful parade and celebration in the park. The organizers could not have done it without the help and support of all the staff. That includes all the staff here. I especially appreciated the map showing the street closures around. I think this is the first time we had that along the parade route, so there was no confusion about what streets are going to be closed during the duration of the parade. And I also understand that the staff was stationed at many intersections to help ensure the safety of all participants. A heartfelt thank you to everyone who participated. Let's continue to celebrate and preserve our traditions. Thank you all very much.
All right, I wanted to add on to that too, because a special thank you to Sandra Farrell, because although there were a lot of people that were working on this, if Sandra had not stepped up at the very beginning and offered to chair this, we would not have had a parade this year. So that was huge, Sandra, thank you. Everybody loved the parade. It was one of the best we've ever had, I think, since I've been here, 30 plus years. So it was fabulous. Also thank the police, the fire department, because they did send us a truck for that also. And then Livia Neese, who sang the Star Spangled Banner for us also. So anyway, it was a wonderful event and a great part of living in a small town where we can do that sort of thing. So
Mayor Pro Tem.
yes.
I think it's also important that we as a city council give our thanks formally to all those that have contributed to organizing and doing all of the work that was necessary to put on this parade. And also to formally thank our staff and Rollingwood PD for taking part of their holiday so that we could have a successful parade here. And I think in that regard, I would like to offer a resolution that we give thanks to all those community volunteers that have been identified by Sandra and Shanti, to all of our commercial donors, and especially to the city staff and Rollingwood Police Department for the success of this parade.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you all. It was just a great day.
Okay, we will come back now to agenda item number 2, which is presentation by firms regarding their qualifications submitted in response to the request for qualifications for owner's representative service for City Hall improvements. And this version of the agenda does not have all of the companies on it. Okay, all right. Are you gonna call them up then, Nikki?
Yes, ma'am. So,
Okay.
council, our, actually, present visitors, if y'all would, go into the lobby, we'll close the door so that way everybody can have a, fair fighting chance to present to us. And JMT is the first, presenter for us.
Okay.
So, if you guys want to get up here, we'll help you get set up, and, I will get your, handouts.
I just wanted to call up the agenda here, the full that's got everything on it.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
We can't get rid of you. There's no chance.
And I brought all mine.
Thank you.
Well, Ready?
Good evening.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm Jennifer Shell with JMT. This is Anshul Mehta. We are very, very grateful to present to you tonight our qualifications to help you with your City Hall renovation project. So first, a little bit about JMT. We are a nationwide firm, proud to be getting up there in the top 50 of the Engineering News Record. We do have a strong background in Owners Representative Services, and then really proud that we've had 15 projects that have gotten achievement awards by the Construction Manager Association of America. So really, really cool projects we've been involved with. So next, going to our project team, myself, Gabe, and Anshul will be your boots on the ground. We are really close, right across Mopac from you. And then, so we can be here at a moment's notice. But JMT, I like to say, is like a small company getting big still, like, although we are national. We spend a lot of time with others in our organization that do what we do. Probably at least every 2 weeks I meet with all of the people who do project management, construction management, owners rep services, and so you really get to know everyone. So when we show like Anthony and Bobby and Arturo that are in our area, we mean that they really are a phone call, a quick site visit, a chat away. Like we work with them regularly, and they really will be here to help whenever we need it. Anthony has a great certified construction manager certification. He's done some recent fire stations. Bobby has over 30 years experience nationally doing public safety and law enforcement centers. And then Arturo has 50 years of just everything: design, program management, project management in city halls, municipal, and fire stations. All right, so moving on back here to Central Texas, here is our list of local clients. We've done owners rep with them, project management, construction management, provided all those services to these clients here locally, pretty recently, most of them. All right, so I'm going to dive into project approach. So I know you've done some really great homework with your needs assessment, listed a lot of shared spaces, trying to maximize your space here. You know, you have quite a challenge with your kind of tight spot here. But what we'll do is we'll work with each department, go through an adjacency diagram, and really maximize everything we can get out of this space. That way we can maximize your budget. Talking a little bit about budget, I went to a conference earlier this year, and they were saying prices in the area are going up by like 11% a year. And we've kind of seen around 10% the last few years, so it's pretty dramatic. So our jobs as owners reps are to keep you on schedule. We can't slip anymore on the project. It literally is costing money. So we'll get on board, help you work out your needs for the building. And just to share this, you are not alone. This is one of our other cities we're working with. They have a space issue. It's the Parks Department in Killeen, and we've helped them with their programming, helped them with procurement documents, really took a template they wanted to use, made it their own with their processes, their specific project, and then got on board the right design build team for their, it's a new parks maintenance facility. So we'll be helping them with, of course, move, coordination through the project, and all the construction. Right now we're in the pre-construction phase. So another project we're working on right now is a renovation. You could see we didn't get to use as much as we wanted to of the existing facility. We did do a facility condition assessment. The walls looked good. When we got in there with the demo, they just weren't, we couldn't salvage them. So we are salvaging the supports, foundation, roof. Anything you can salvage really does make a difference in the new budget for the building. one thing they did on this project is ground penetrating radar in that slab so that they can mark out where they could lay new mechanical and electrical conduits and make sure there aren't any conflicts. So we'll do a facility condition assessment, get the architect on board, review those findings, and come together with pros and cons for renovation or a new build. Or is it a little bit of both? Try to get stakeholders involved, get everyone sign off, and then once we know what it is exactly, we can put together a strong budget and schedule and talk about the best delivery method for the contractor. Right now we're working with the design build team. Quite a few projects have CMARs, and then we did just do a competitive sealed proposal bid for a general contractor. So familiar with all of them in the area. Some contractors are better with some delivery methods than others, so really depending on where we land with exactly what the project needs will help us decide what's best. All right, so next, this project is a little larger than this one, but it was near and dear to my heart. I worked on it for 6 years with the state. The Capitol Complex Phase 1, if you haven't been down, that's Congress Avenue now. It's fantastic. But anyway, it's a larger project, but similar issues. You know, we had really important stakeholders at the state, and when we're here, we're going to have very important stakeholders. Your neighbors, your community, they're going to want to know when there's a street closure, when there's a sidewalk closure, when there's a beep, beep, beep at early hours to get work done. So we need a good communication plan, get everyone on board with reporting, how we can get notices out, how we can make sure everyone's getting the updates they need, and keep everyone informed of the project. So let's see. Another thing with the Capitol Complex project, it was just, and it's one of those things that just takes a long time. Network and security equipment. We need to make those decisions up front during this project definition phase so that we can get the procurement documents together, get a firm on board, a company on board, get them bought, because the lead time to get them is really, really substantial. And you need them you need them hooked up, you need them tested. So all of these things need to happen before you're ready to move back in. All right, next. So we have an architect. We know if we're going to renovate or build new. We have a contractor, and now we're ready to start pre-construction planning. Have a schedule. We really want to have a lot of milestones in the schedule. Hold the contractor accountable for each step along the way. Include the move coordination
2 minutes.
milestones.
2 minutes.
Thank you. Okay. Network equipment that's needed. We are helping a lot of clients right now in this pre-construction planning phase. A lot of them doing some heavy value engineering to lower their costs. So familiar with that. Next in pre-construction planning, risk register. We love to do them. Really get down into the details of what you need to just have a mitigation plan for throughout the project. Start it early and make sure you're checking it as you're moving through it. Construction. City of Cedar Park, we've done quite a few projects with them. A lot of them are renovations. The City Hall here, they did a lot of just interiors, and it enabled the departments to, what's the word I want to use? Relocate in phases. So that was kind of nice for the City Hall departments. This one is Recreate, a great new facility that's just wrapping up in Cedar Park. Kept a lot of walls, put a couple new ones in, redid the HVAC, a lot of interior finishes, and great new multipurpose center for the city. Let's see, project closeout. We do like an online project management software. We can track everything from the minute we start construction. We're tracking observations, deficiencies, and nothing gets closed unless we say it's complete 100% and it can get closed. So tracking that punch list from the very beginning. warranty, helping people now with their warranty, just stay on top of that contractor and make sure they don't let the warranty items slip.
Okay, time.
All right. And I'll wrap
Did
it up.
anybody have any questions?
Sorry, that was a lot.
We'll leave a little bit of time for that. Or add a little bit of time for that. If anybody had any specific questions they wanted to ask.
This is Brooke Brown. Thank you for your presentation and thank you for your bid. I think it's very interesting. And I'd like to ask on references in the
Middle. Mm-hmm.
packet that you gave the city, we have Mesquite and Cedar Park as references and the city of Killeen. Do you have any other, I would like, if you're showing us a project as one that's similar to ours, I'd like to see references from that project. But I don't know if you have any more references that you would be willing to share with us. One example would be the municipal facility renovations for city of Pflugerville.
Right, okay, that's a little while
Yeah.
ago, but yes.
If we were to consider renovations, it would be a similar kind of project and similar size, so I'd like to be able to talk with them or have our city administrator talk with them. And then I'd like to see a reference from one of the fire stations
Okay,
that y'all have worked on.
sure.
If you could give those to our city administrator, I would be grateful for that. And also the CASA, it was one of the smaller projects, and I really like the cost number that came in on, and so it'd be nice to be able to have a chat with them about that, if you could. Thank you. And as I understand, are the two of y'all in San Antonio, but you have an office here? Okay, you're here.
We are here.
I wasn't clear about that. I
Yes.
wasn't clear about that.
We're here.
Okay.
Gabe
all
and
right.
Anshul and I are here,
Okay.
with a few
great.
others, but.
And the other three,
The other three,
fellows.
they're kind of, one's in Dallas, one's in El Paso, and one's in South Carolina, Georgia.
somewhere by phone.
Somewhere. He comes here.
Okay, thank
I
you.
haven't gone to him.
That clears that up.
So I'm kind of I guess I'll play the skeptic a little bit. This is, as you've alluded to, this is a pretty small space, relatively small project to everything you've listed off. When I've talked to other architects or other construction or contractors for this project, we have homes that are gone in that are much bigger than what we're doing here. How does the role and the services you're providing on that small of a scale going to be helped versus what they're providing? Because they will do a lot of what you're talking about doing. They're obviously keeping themselves on track is a problem, keeping them at cost is a problem. And all
True.
that. Can you talk a little bit about that
True.
at our scale?
Sure. Well, I think in the beginning it's kind of easy. We'll be helping getting them on board, helping get you through the needs assessment phase, facility assessment, getting the architect on board. Once they're on board, they're kind of doing, they're like the I don't want to say the background, but they're kind of the doers, can we say? I don't want to say I'm not a doer, but we're making sure everything's getting done. So we're saying, okay, the architect needs new numbers or needs information about this. We're the key contact that goes and gets that information, because that's what you don't have the time to do, and that's our full-time job, is to make sure we're getting all the information. If we need to coordinate with the water department or the fire department, we're the person who does that. And we're tracking everything from every single person that's on the team. Architect is supposed to deliver this. We're waiting on this from this person. Someone with the city is supposed to give us this information. We're kind of the keeper of all of the big picture so that nothing falls through the holes.
Yep. I would like to add an example to that. We were doing pool project for City of Austin, in downtown. And there was a change order, pretty heavy one, for a little bit of sheet metal installation over a small room. The price they gave us was $15,000. So the architect do not have the means really to talk with other people, get some cost from RS Means online. We did all that research, finally got it to like 6,000, even half of it. So that's what we
That's true.
help.
We also do that. Tracking schedule and budget, definitely. And cost estimating. It's our strong suit.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Great. I'll just close. Should go on. Oops, not this one. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, my name is Ben Snyder with Square One Consultants. Just want to thank you all for having us here this evening. I'm going to be pretty quick. A lot of this stuff was in our original proposal, but just a real quick overview. We were originally founded in 1995. Our headquarters is right next to Westlake High School. Took me about 5 minutes to get here. So right around the corner. Right now we've got 45 employees. With the majority of them here in Texas. Got 37 in Texas. The rest of them are split out in some other states right now. We've done over $25 billion worth, are managed, I would say, over $25 billion worth of work, over 400 projects, 120 million square feet, and we've worked in 17 different states. We're owner's rep through and through. That's all we do. We don't try to break up our services and try to give you a kid and caboodle. We're owner's reps, and we can take you from cradle to grave in anything you want in that process. I'll say we do have a tried and true process that we've used on a project that I've got that's a kitchen remodel all the way up to a $1.6 billion project that we have going on in North Carolina right now. So we look at every project equally, and we put all the resources that are needed on the project to give you that same level of service at whatever scale you're at. As you see, I did a handout instead of anything online. Our process on the back, some of our deliverables, they're all really easy to use documents. They're Excel documents, Word-based documents, so we don't get into cloud sharing issues, permissions, or anything like that. But really, we start at the beginning of the project. We make sure that we understand everything that the project needs. We identify risk up front, and then we work to reduce those risks as quickly as possible. I don't know if you guys have any questions. Again, I think we gave a pretty good proposal in there and explained a lot of stuff. So I think I'm really going to open it up to you guys at this point and see if you have any questions for me.
Anybody have any?
I have
Okay.
questions.
Yes,
Go
ma'am.
ahead.
They're aware that I have questions.
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, what is this building on page 38?
My eyes are getting old. Look at this. That is a portion of the Holdsworth Center. Holdsworth?
Holdsworth Center?
So over, so Charles Butt, his mom was a administrator, and so over here on Town Lake, over by, what is that, Pennybacker Bridge, So if you look down, big, oh my gosh, I forget how many acres that was, but a facility that was made just for school administrators. He put all the money in, and it's basically a
Oh.
retreat for them, so they can go. There's hotel rooms that they can stay in, plus conference center to where they can go in and get additional education. Yeah.
That looks great. And
It's an amazing space.
the reason I ask about this, and I won't take a whole lot of time, is we have a commercial corridor that backs up to a creek.
Okay.
And that's the kind of vision we want for development of that commercial corridor.
Yeah, if you want, we have a project actually down in New Braunfels right now. It's called the Headwaters at Kamal. So very similar type of style and architecture.
Okay.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
want to talk with you about that too.
Yes, 100%.
And I also wanted to ask, the references you've given to us are for the Texas Facilities Commission, Capital Metro, Travis County Housing, Bastrop County Health, Victoria County Mental Health Facility. Are there any others that might be a little closer to this project, closer in scale and cost?
Like I
The-
said, the New Braunfels facility
The new,
would
okay,
probably be right in line. That one, I would say, let's not look at the schedule on that one. That one's a little bit longer than what most projects typically are, but a lot of that had to do with their funding sources.
okay,
But for size and scale, it's gonna be almost identical.
all right. And then tell us how, we're here and we know we have needs, but we haven't figured out whether to do a renovation or whether we start from scratch and that kind of thing. How would you work with our city staff on those kind of questions and with our community?
Yeah, so one of the guys that I proposed, Daryl Westcott, former architect here in town. So he would come in and what we would call like a programming session and really just sit down with everybody, get feedback, and we identify everything that everybody's asking for, and then we start putting a cost to it.
Okay.
And then we can come back and give you a cost analysis of where we feel, which direction you should go. But we'll lay out multiple options, and allow you to look at each one, and it'll, give you total construction value plus what we think it'll take time-wise
Okay.
as well.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I get to be the skeptic. So this is a relatively small project, given everything else that y'all have done.
Mm-hmm.
You got bigger homes going up. Some skeptics of owners reps say a lot of what services you provide are what the GCs and what the architect should be doing, working with city. Not everything, but most of it. Can you talk a little bit about the difference in what that extra value add really is on a small project like this?
Yeah, I mean, it really does come down. I mean, you do hire the architect to do certain things, you hire the contractor to do certain things, but really we come in and we help coordinate and push that along. A lot of times you're gonna hear on construction projects, the construction's delayed, the schedule from the construction side's delayed. You never hear at the beginning where the architect didn't get done on time. And that's where we come in and we help push that. A lot of times that'll slip and then everything has to go down to the contractor level. So we make sure that we come in and everything's cohesive, working together. There's no bickering back and forth, I would say. And it's really making sure and holding them accountable to do the job that they were hired to do. And so that's a lot of it's really, we're looking out for your best interest. We're making sure that you're getting what you paid for and in the quality that you wanted it and in the time frame that you wanted it.
I have one more question I forgot to
Yes, ma'am.
ask. In your proposal, it says that you don't have any staff members who hold a CCM. It's a Certified Construction Management degree. But that you have a list of municipal projects from our partner company, Project Control. Can you explain what your company does and what Project Control does and how y'all, what the back and forth is there?
Yeah, so we were actually purchased in December of 2025 by Rob Kistner. Rob Kistner, you may know him as material testing. They do a lot of material testing, your geotechnical report, your
Okay.
phase 1, phase 2. And project control is a division of Rob Kistner.
Okay.
Crazy enough, the original founder of Square One left project control and started Square One.
Okay.
So even 31 years later, we operate identically.
Okay.
I mean, we still have all of the same, a lot of our contracts are the same, forms are the same. So really, we're just expanding our footprint. Project Control, they own San Antonio, and for the last 30 years, Square One has kind of owned Austin.
Okay.
And now we're just working together. Like, we're teamed up on the Austin Convention Center, and we work hand in hand with each other.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you for explaining that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Lindsay says Kevin Asheen has question.
I did, thank you. Can y'all hear me all right?
Yes.
sir.
Well, I want to commend Councilmember Brooke Brown on her good taste on the Holdsworth Center as a Lake Flato project.
Yes, sir.
And I'm big fans of Lake Flato architects. But I wanted to give you a chance to explain a little bit more about what a project manager does as opposed to GCs and architects. For example, who's going to negotiate fees with the architects? Because I've got a project with Lake Flato right now, and their bid was 3 times higher than the lowest bid for architectural services.
That's how it
And
always is.
and twice as high as the next one, but I still prefer Lake Flato. But like, how do we know we're getting a good deal on architecture and that they're meeting their deadlines? Is that something that you do?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that kind of follows what Brooke was asking. But yeah, I mean, we come in from the very beginning, and yeah, we work with you guys. We find out what your wants or needs are. We put out the RFPs, the RFQs, or help assist with you guys putting that together. We go and we reach out to the community, the architects, find out ones that would most likely be really good candidates for this. Make sure that we get good participation in everything, and through that process, you start to see kind of who you like and who you don't like. Similar thing with the contractor. We go through that same process and bring them in. We negotiate everything on the behalf of the city of Rollingwood, and look out for your best interest the whole way through. We do have a lot of modified contracts. A lot of people use AIA standard form contracts, which are made for architects usually, and doesn't always look out for the best interest of the owner. So we've gone through and we've modified a lot of that. Something that we typically do a little different, a lot of times, an OAC meeting, an owner architect contractor meeting, a lot of times you'll see in design, the architect's running the meeting, and in construction, the contractor's running the meeting. But what happens is they make sure that they get everything that they need, and they don't worry about anybody else. We take it a little bit different. We run all the meetings, and we start out from the owner side, and then we'll start trickling down through the system. And as far as tracking, yeah, I mean, that's a daily, a weekly occurrence, making sure that everybody's meeting the schedule that they agreed to. And like architects, so we're gonna have your schematic, you're gonna have your DD, you're gonna have your CDs, and we go through and we review every single page and make sure that they're coordinated, and if not, we'll
I think
get.
what a lot of people aren't expecting when they have an architect on a project like this is then they get hit with an interior design fee and a landscape architecture fee, and then you have issues of the architect trying to control interior design and landscape architecture, whereas the owner might want to have more direct input on those issues. And then you get mistakes that happen, and you get GCs and architects blaming each other or conspiring to call it a change order
Yep.
at our expense.
Yep.
Is that something you've ever seen before?
Oh, every day of the week, every day of the week. I mean, that's what we're here for. And like you said, Lake Flato, yeah, they come in. They're usually one of the most expensive. And the project in New Braunfels is done by Lake Flato as well. We know them. We know what they're going to come in and ask for. We know how to negotiate and get them brought down to the correct level. And yeah, to Kevin's point, sometimes you want the architect to hold a lot of contracts under them with mechanical, electrical, plumbing engineers, but sometimes you don't. And so those are things that we'll talk about, and we can talk about contracting directly. Civil, I'll say we want to contract directly with the city. We usually don't want to put them over or under somebody else. One, you're paying 10% fee for basically nothing. And then if they're directly contracted with you, you've got the control and you can push and pull the strings as you'd like.
All right. Thank you very much for your presentation.
And if the county wants to ask any questions, we should give them an opportunity. I don't know if they want to. But
Who?
If the fire department, they're partners with us on this.
Okay. Well, raise your hand
Just,
if you've got
you can if
anything.
you'd like to.
All right.
All right. Well, I appreciate
Okay.
the time. Thank you. Have a good evening.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you
you very
for
much.
taking the time to give us a bid, and a good one. Thank you.
I have a presentation if I can put it up on the screen. Good evening. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for the thoughtful effort that you guys have put into this. Clearly put a lot of work into it. Very grateful to be here and that you guys considered my firm. So looking forward to telling you a little bit about Windsor Group. And if you guys have any questions throughout the presentation, I'm just very collaborative. Feel free to interject, and happy to answer any questions that you've got. So just to tell you a little bit about myself, my name is Greg Smith. I lead Windsor Group. I've been doing this for over 20 years. Largely, I started off in the construction industry as a contractor, so I got involved in construction that way. Formal education is in construction, but I have been on the owner side most of my career doing owner representation, development management, and construction leadership. I started the firm really because when I was working for other firms, what I was seeing is that as you progressed, you sort of got into more of a sales role, executive role, but I liked doing the work. And I felt like there was a real niche where, you know, you could be a smaller firm and have folks that really like to do the work. The executives, people who lead the firm, are in the projects. So on all of my projects, I am the project manager. Like, I'm gonna be the person that you interact with. I will be leading the day-to-day. I will be heavily involved, and that's what I like doing. So that's why I started the firm, and that's the type of service that we deliver. I'm very locally invested. Almost all of my work is in Central Texas. I do a lot of work in Austin. I do some things on the outskirts, and you'll see some projects in different parts of Texas, but largely I am focused on this area. So my reputation and the work that I do and the service is very important to me because I like doing work in Central Texas. So to tell you a little bit about Windsor, what I wanted to do is tell you a little why I thought this project was different and what was unique about it and what sort of stood out to me and why I wanted to propose on this, and a little bit of like why we fit those things. So the first is, the first part of this project is really kind of defining it. Looking at what makes the most sense. Is it going to be a renovation? Is it going to replace the building or a hybrid of some sort? That is like core to our work. So I'll talk more about it later in the presentation, but in the last 3 years, I've done 4 large-scale due diligence efforts where I have come on board before there's been a major capital expenditure to try to recommend to different owners about what I think that they should do. I put together a technical team to do that, and we look at projects, and we do as much upfront that we can do before you start expending serious dollars so you understand the options and the pros and cons and why a decision works. This is very foundational to what we do. I have a background in development advisory where I did project planning for a large portion of my career, so I've always thought that that's a differentiator of what we're able to do. You have a $4 million project. I've had 3 $4 million projects also in the last 3 years. I don't go for the super large stuff typically. I'm a smaller firm. I go for projects that make sense for me that sometimes those firms don't look at because that's gonna be maybe number 10 on their priority list. For me, something like this is the top of my priority list. I do projects of this size a lot. I do some bigger, you'll see. I do some that are smaller, but this seems to be about my sweet spot. You guys have 2 operating missions. Again, later in the presentation, I'll explain to you some projects where I did that. But I've worked a lot in the public sector. I've worked with a lot of different boards, and I worked with some religious institutions, and I tend to be in this situation where I've got to do a lot of stakeholder management and working with different groups and coming up with compromises. I don't just do the technical construction work. I think I'm also good at working with the owner side to help bring organization to what the owner's doing. Your existing building, there's just a lot of unknowns, I think, right now. There's a lot of different things that you could do. There's a lot of constraints on the site. That, kind of speaking to the due diligence, I think that our firm is really good at going and uncovering everything really fast before you spend a lot of dollars and trying to come up with a clear framework for how to make a decision. Pros, cons, exploring all the different things, bringing on the right parties so that you can make a decision before you get into design and really feel like you're on the right path. And then there's public accountability. You'll see my list of municipalities that I've worked with. I come from a background of working with higher education, municipalities, local government. My first job was with the federal government. I understand how to interact with city council like yourself. You'll see that other governments have trusted me to present in front of their communities. So that whole factor is something that I think that we specialize in. Proven due diligence. So as I mentioned, this is something that's core to what we do. A little bit difficult to see here, but it's just 4 different examples of the projects that I've done. So first one, top left, right here. My laser pointer's not working. But that's a private sector client that I worked with. They were gonna buy a $2 million piece of land. They hired my firm to come in, tell them that they could build what they wanted to build. The site actually did not look like they could build what they wanted to. That's why it had been sitting on the market for so long. We hired an entitlements team, civil, architect, got contractor input before they spent the $2 million to make sure that they could build that facility. We're gonna have a site development permit on that project in probably the next 2 weeks. So we were able to go and develop what this owner wanted to do on it. The next one to the right, just a little diagram of a floor plan, but this is with All Saints Episcopal Church. They're located right on UT's campus. They similarly have a $4 million budget. They've got a large building that they did pre-design for. So they're trying to figure out, where do we spend $4 million and get the best bang for the buck when we know that this full project is gonna be more? So they hired my firm to come in and basically help them to design their scope on that project. Underneath that, just a quick diagram of the type of thing that we put together. This was out of the final report that we put together for Hayes CAD. They are also looking at a scenario where they had just no idea what they were gonna do, but their building was falling apart. They had needs with growing staff and the building falling apart. We put together an entire feasibility report for them on what they should do between those options: renovate, build new, buy a new building, buy land and construct. So we looked at the full range of that. We worked with a commercial broker on it, so we're not just technical people, but we can work with those types of folks, real estate and development. So that's the example of Hayes CAD. And then we also worked on the Georgetown Downtown Master Plan. And my firm's role in that, I did not lead that, I was a sub-consultant, but I looked at specific sites to see if projects were feasible for vertical construction, because those types of plans tend to do that. So there was about 3 projects on there that I assessed for feasibility. This is an example. I'm just showing a quick example, a diagram. This is also from HaysCAD. We had to distill, I think, roughly 120 sites and options that we looked at. When we presented to the board, this is kind of what came into the report as the final sort of summation, narrowing down the key variables, narrowing it down to 5 potential options.
2
and
minutes.
then coming to 2. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's it.
And yeah, putting together this deliverable that's clear and easy to read. I wanted to show you this one photo and make sure that you could see what's possible. This is in Brownsville, Texas, where I was hired. On the left is the before. This was a dilapidated, empty building that nobody was in. Also a $4 million budget. 2 departments in there. It was the marketing department and the Convention and Visitors Bureau. And we totally transformed this building to have both departments in there and totally refreshed it. The way we did that is we basically looked at the industrial look of it and tried to capitalize on it. So now I want to talk a little about your project. I've given some thought to it, and I just think that these are the types of things to think about initially. So, what do your existing site conditions look like? Do you have asbestos in here? Do you have enough natural light? Are there code issues? These are some of the things we would look at. What's your mission? What's the program look like? We'd probably have to look at having an architect and determining how much staff is going to be in here and how much square footage allotted to everybody. That's one of the things we do. Could you live with temporary operations? That will inform, can we phase this project, or can we take a portion of the building offline? Just a question. I know nobody loves doing that, but fire and EMS, what exactly are the needs? Do you need a fire truck to be parked here or an ambulance building? Capacity. Could we go vertical here? Looking at things like that. Is there room in the rear patio that we're looking at right now? I don't know if that's an extension. Also looking at things like, do you have a mayor's office or do you have private space for people to meet? So things like that we would be asking you before we go and design it. And this is just getting into how we execute. I really pride myself on that we do a lot of complex projects. St. Austin's Catholic Church, 2 users, a school, student housing, one of the largest dense urban mixed-use projects in West Campus, $160 million project. That's one of the ones that we did. All Saints that I talked about, City of Brownsville. We're also working on a mosque that's doing student housing and a religious facility on the bottom. How do we do it? One is we've got a schedule that we keep right from the onset. I am constantly updating the schedule every single week to try to make it more and more accurate as we go and hold the entire team accountable, and I do that before construction. A live budget. So in the very onset, when we discover enough of what we do, I will create a budget that I believe is as best informed as we can get it and see where do we stand. So that right away we've got a budget. And as I learn more and more facts, we update that budget so that we can constantly see how accurate we are.
Sorry, we're
It's all
trying
good.
to get through everything.
No, I
here,
understand.
So, was gonna give everybody a chance for questions, so anybody have any questions?
Well, I'll just say I was intrigued by the All Saints project because I've been to that house and attended that church as a student, and I know I served on the building committee for St. David's Episcopal Church
Yeah.
downtown through their renovation project.
Right,
So
right.
it would be quite the same experience because we have a lot of involved community people in Rolling Wood who will want to have input into this project. So it's good to know you can
Yes,
do
ma'am.
that.
Yeah.
Kevin, nope. Anybody else? Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Really
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
your time.
Appreciate your time.
Yes. All right. Take care.
Oh, one other thing, I like the budgets with the reverse design budget approach, starting with the 4 million, and that's on page 23 of your proposal. I really like that explanation.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
And if you have any follow-up questions, by all means, and I'll make sure that you have the presentation.
That'd be
Tried
great.
to hit that 10, but it's tough.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks
All
so
right,
much.
thank you.
do bullet points, I'll open it to the floor on how you would prefer to have it.
Well, however you best want to use your 10 minutes.
Gotcha. How do you think it works? We ready to get rolling?
Go
All right.
ahead.
Thank you all very much for having us. We are not turned on with the presenter yet, so that's not moving forward. My name is Derek Bird. I am the Director of Operations for AGCM here in Central Texas. I am a Central Texas native, born and raised in New Braunfels, so very familiar with the area, with the growth of the local municipalities around here. As a Director of Operations, I serve as the executive, so I will be in kind of the high-level oversight at the 30,000 foot. If there are any challenges or things that escalate or need that extra level of support, I'm here for that.
I'm Stephen Karp, Senior Project Manager, and I've been in Austin for 35 years, always in construction. I've lived in Westlake for a little while. I've been in Terrytown for about 20 years, so I'm very close to this job. I'm in this community a lot and have a lot of friends here and spend a lot of time here. I just finished up the Westlake City Hall on Bee Caves last year, and currently working on the City of Pflugerville City Hall and Rec Center. And I would be your point of contact and the person actually running this job.
And so just to kind of respect your time, I know you've had the qualification packets to look at, but who AGCM is, we are a family-founded firm, 30 years ago, founded by our founder, Durwood Anderson, who saw a need for capital projects to have some sort of expertise and owner support. And so he founded the firm, and over that 30 years has grown it to where we are now, which is 77 employees. We have 5 offices in Corpus, Houston, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, and a blooming or growing one out in El Paso. We have 77 staff. In the San Antonio market, we are 26 strong. So we have 23 construction managers and project managers here. And basically what that means to you is if there's some reason, you know, Stephen's not able to support something, we've got backup, but we also have a very deep pool of knowledge that we can dive into. So if there's a situation or a challenge that comes up, we have a lot of resources to reach back to in order to solve those challenges on your behalf.
And I won't go through all these bullet by bullet, but just local presence and knowledge. Like I said, I've been in Austin for 35 years in the construction industry. I've been with AGCM for 20. And just, you know, the first little bullet here is shared civic and public safety use. You know, very familiar. I've done several fire stations. The Westlake City Hall just finished, had PD operating out of it. So that's something that we would just work with the city on to see what best fits for y'all. Budget discipline, I know, you know, it's a $4 million budget, total project budget, so I think 1.5 of that is from the ESD and the rest, the remainers from the city. So just trying to work with the city to see, again, what best fits y'all and what you're looking to do with that monies, and we would work with that, you know, to try to break out contingencies for, you know, furniture, FF&E, just a total project cost. Also, we have a full in-house AGCM, a full in-house estimating department. It's nothing we farm out. They're in our offices. We do estimates literally worldwide, so they're always a great source of checking market prices and just for valued engineering and budget. That's a key strong point for AGCM. Also, still ahead decisions. You know, we're not sure from what we've read and seen, you know, just really what the end all is for the city of Rollingwood. And we know it's a new, it could be a renovation or possibly a new building or some outbuildings. So we'd like to work with y'all and the architects and engineers to see what best fits for y'all. Then what Rollingwood should expect from AGCM, from me personally, first of all, it would be me on the job. I'm close, I'm local. And then just a lot of communication, a lot of collaboration, and a lot of transparency. Also, we bring in the estimating side of it in-house from AGCM. I think that's a huge plus. And then just relevant local experience, kind of what I went through. Just finished up Westlake, working actively right now in Pflugerville. I've done some fire stations in Cedar Park, so we're very well equipped to handle this project.
Too far. All right, and just kind of some of the importance. We're not coming in here with a bunch of opportunities and options to sell you on right now, because I really feel that in order to understand the project, we need to get a much better hold of the stakeholders, what the end game is, and what that overall outcome needs to be before we just jump in with ideas. So that's really important when we talk about integration, because whenever I get, the biggest commitment I get of my staff is when someone says, you know what, they fit right in with our city or with our school district. Like, they are one of us. It's not an outside consultant that people look down upon. It's someone who's integrated themselves as part of the staff. So it's really what we shoot for at AGCM, with that boots on the ground mentality, with being present. You can't manage a project from, you know, a skyscraper in downtown Austin. You need to be on site in order to see what's happening, build those relationships with the stakeholders, with the subs, with the architects. Also, communication. There's always something in a construction project. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. You're never gonna have news withheld from you. So we're gonna bring it to you, good or bad, and we're gonna make sure that typically if we're bringing you bad news, we're coming with solutions and opportunities to overcome those. And then representation. We are your voice. So whether it be to the contractor, to the architect, to the testing agencies, in negotiations for furniture finishings, we are your voice, we are your representative, and we will do our best effort to support you and look at the outcomes that the stakeholders of this community are after. And really the biggest thing with any project is anticipating what challenges and risks are coming up next. So like Steven said, with our in-house estimating team, they are touching projects all across the state all the time. They have a knowledge and a base point of where challenges may be coming up, whether it be through tariffs, through labor shortages, material escalations. And so we have a lot of that information up front before it can become an issue on the project. And same thing with just the size of our staff in the state of Texas with the number of projects that we are on. If something comes up on a project down the street, we can look ahead and see how that's going to forecast and impact the projects that we're working on with you as well.
And just kind of back to how we would assist Rollingwood, you know, define the right project, like I said earlier, to discover what, you know, what Rollingwood needs, what you're looking for in the finished product. Recommend delivery strategy, and it's either, that's the contract delivery, it's a contractor at risk, CMAR, it could be design build, it could be design bid build.
And that's, sorry, I'm gonna
Yeah,
jump
go
in
ahead.
on you. That's gonna be really important. One of the things where I've got a lot of expertise and provide a lot of knowledge is through the government code 2254 and 2269. So those are the codes in the Texas government code that state how you must procure professional services, how you must procure contractors. And so that's something that I've become very voiced in and actually do presentations across the state to purchasing agents, ESDs, on how to do that and best suit that. So you go and get that knowledge to make sure that you are dotting all your I's and crossing T's when it comes to following the law and how you procure these services.
And then the project budget, again, $4 million, you know, we know that would be the owner's rep fee, that's the A&E's fee, that's everybody all in. So we would work with the city on how to manage that budget, how to build that budget. That'd probably be the first thing we would do is sit down and go through to see what the actual construction budget would be and then everything else before and after that. And building a realistic schedule, that would be starting with y'all, how we would start the process if we were selected to move forward, to build a schedule, how to go through the A&E, to select an architect and engineer, and then also go through the general contractor selection, and just basically a cradle to grave schedule. The construction schedule would obviously come from the general contractor. And then represent the city daily, that would be me, and it's not a phone call, you probably get sick of seeing me, I'm very close to here, so you know, if it's not daily, it's at least every other day, probably every day, but I would be on site, myself personally, boots on the ground here, talking to people, talking to the staff, talking to the city, and talking to the subcontractors and contractors to make sure the job is, you know, on schedule and on scope.
So try to make it quick, so we've got a couple minutes for questions.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
All right, anybody with questions? I know Brooke has questions. You ready for
questions here?
Yep.
We loved what you did at Westlake Hills. So can
Yeah.
you do that
Yeah.
for $4 million?
I don't think so. We were on a really tight budget on that one, I'm glad it turned out the way it did.
It's great.
It's a great building.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Did you have questions, Brooke?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Kevin? All right. So I have a question of what you see the similarities and the differences between us and the Westlake facility.
Really just size of scope. I mean, from, you know, I think our budget there was 17 million, 20,000 square feet. So, and it's a ground up construction. Again, not really sure in what I've read and found if it's a full remodel, it's you know, an addition here. So there's some scope questions that even we have of how to compare those two. But it's
So do we.
yeah, and we would help you through that. And so we do it all. We've done, you know, large renovations, add-ons, ground up. But it's hard to say what's the difference between y'all and your neighbor. It was two very different projects. We were on board with them very early on, right around COVID. That all got pushed off, and so lots of budget issues there that we were able to fight through and get them what a good end use. So it wasn't easy.
I'll follow up on that. Did you, since you know, their community is very much like our community, did you, during that early stages, did you have any unique interactions or learnings from dealing with the community feedback that you got or gathered?
A couple of the neighbors, it's funny, like I said, I've been in Austin a long time. I knew a couple of the neighbors that were on the west side of the fence, so I've had a lot of interaction with those people, actually 3 of them. I presented at every council meeting. I knew a couple of the council members prior to, so yeah, so some community, you know, interaction just before the project, trying to make sure everybody was comfortable with what was going to happen. I mean, that church had been there since I think the late 60s. All those neighbors, the kid, you know, everybody had gates cut in their fences and used it. So it was a little touchy for the neighbors, and especially going from a quiet building that hadn't been occupied in forever and now to a commercial site. It's quite different. I mean, the lighting, the rooftop noise, everything. So it was delicate.
We're familiar with delicate.
I'm familiar with delicate. I would be very mindful, and like I said, work with y'all on that and just, you know, make sure everybody's comfortable. And that's another thing that was in our presentation on the front side. I wouldn't want everybody, your staff, especially council and the community, to know exactly what's going on before construction starts. Because once construction starts, it's off to the races. So all the budget, all of the permitting, all of the late night concrete pours, any, you know, anything we would have to do just to get everybody comfortable before construction starts, and everybody's on the same page, is very important to me. So we had quite a few variances for noise that we had to work through, and notified all the neighbors of that, and so just those kind of things.
All right, anybody else? Okay, thank you very much.
Great, thank y'all.
And thank y'all for taking the time to give us a good bid and presentation.
I feel like I did it wrong by being only 10 minutes.
No. You don't know
You're
how
good.
that.
That's good.
Thank y'all for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank
Under
you.
budget's always good. Thank you.
We were on budget and on time.
It's important.
Okay, that's good. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. My name is Paul Webb. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Broadus and Associates. And my team is here with us tonight. We're honored to be here, and we appreciate this opportunity. We know you've shortlisted 5 very capable and highly successful firms. We want to spend the next 9.5 minutes, explaining why we think that Broadus and Associates is best suited to deliver program success for the city of Rollingwood. We appreciate the council's detailed evaluation of all the proposals. Our goal in the next few minutes is to explain. We're going to use the placemat. We decided PowerPoint might drag us out too long, so we're going to use the placemat. How we'll work with your team throughout the project life cycle, including the immediate steps upon contract award. Your Q&A responses and your planning data in Amendment 1 was super helpful for us. And it reinforces one of our best practices, which is our 14-step process, which is actually on page 62 of your agenda package tonight, is well suited for your program objectives. And what's important about those 14 steps, the first 7 deal with project planning. And so we're going to spend some time here this evening talking about the importance of the planning functions. And again, your RFI responses were help reinforce that. But our 14-step process is one of many industry-proven best practices that we employ every day on behalf of our owners and clients across the state of Texas. Look forward to our time together. At this point, I'll introduce Alex Gonzalez.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Alex Gonzalez. I'll be serving as the project executive on your team. As noted here in the leave behind, as you're looking at, for me, I'm a 36 years in the industry. I wish I was 36, but 36 years as being an owner and an owner representative. I've had many comparable clients and similar projects in terms of helping guide from the very beginning to the end. So I'll come back with a little bit more detail. I'd like to allow Andy Seeker an opportunity for intro.
Hello, thank you. Andy Seeker. I've been a project manager for 20 plus years in the owner rep industry, serving public projects and capital projects. And really look forward to working with you guys on this City Hall project as we move through this process.
I'd like to go through a little bit. So what you're looking at here, you've seen in the original submission, the organization. Just to cover a couple of things about our organization. Number one, as Paul noted, a lot of what we are proposing to do here is kind of our typical process. Some of the things that make us unique. I want to point out in the organization chart there in our subject matter expertise and support, a couple of particular differentiators. Jeff Broadus, our public safety facility expert, so being able to help and speak the language of everything related to public safety. And then also most notably here is our fire station expert, Mark Williams, who's been involved in his history and experience in designing multiple fire stations. So with that said, I'd like to turn it over to the other side of our leave behind, and kind of give you an overview of the next few minutes you're going to spend. I'm going to talk a little bit about the phased approach, as you saw in our submission, kind of cover in conjunction with what Paul mentioned. You could kind of look at phases 1, 2, and 3 as kind of equivalent to everything that we're doing ahead of the execution phase. So again, ahead of getting the rest of the project delivery team and really look at all the pre-design and comprehensive owner requirements that you need assistance from us, and also to take what you've already created. So as we go through phase 1, as you can see there, the primary focus is to validate the needs. So it's validating that program that you've provided some information on the square footage and the things that you need and some of the facility requirements. Some of the things that are really important in that exercise, what distinguishes us is that we have a planning firm, and Dr. Broadus originally, in bringing the planning firm to our overall skill set as owner reps, is to help you look at options that we can provide to also help get the design and the construction going faster. So in number 1, we're going to be looking at adjacencies and operational requirements. I'll cover some of the things, and you see here on the right side, excuse me, as a preliminary conceptual site test fit option that we've kind of developed because of our planning skills and also those particular subject matter experts. A couple things before I move on into, this is a concept for a new construction. We know you've noted that maybe you might look at renovating, but at the same time, it's about enhancing the information for you to make your next decision. So if you look at the bottom key, the areas that you've already provided in terms of functionality, administration, the public works, the police and the fire department, looking at shared efficiencies and things that would be a natural part of engaging your stakeholders to confirm those requirements. In phase 2, you would look at, in evaluating the options, Using this map, you know, given your existing site, we kind of referred to an upper level and a lower level, using the terms of, you know, what you have here is kind of a rock bluff here that's separating the two levels. So in thinking how the functionalities would work, you can see that we've kind of noted preliminarily, again, this is not the only option, but the one that we came up with at this point, where you're looking at relationships to both the the firefighting side, access to where parking would be, and again, just looking at different ways to provide some of these preliminary options in discussions with you. We're going to be looking at the difference between the public side of the services versus the emergency services like police and fire. We'll be making sure that there's an understanding of parking, you know, what is secured parking versus shared and open public parking. Moving on to phase 3, if you look at once we've gotten through phase 1 and 2, we've come up with a couple of different options, whether, again, it includes renovating of this building. We've done that for many owners to try and give them information. You're looking at, as you move on into phase 3, let's look at those options. What are the respective conceptual budgets, and how do they work with you in terms of your concepts? We'd also cover in phase 3, not only, again, the public versus emergency, but also what are the final recommendations and appropriate conceptual budgets that would be there in order for you to make decisions. A little bit about the project delivery methods. As Dr. B, when he started the firm 25 years ago, we've always been very much proficient in all the delivery methods. So we were very competent and proficient in all those delivery methods. You noted CMR might be your first choice, but then you came back and said, well, we'll take the recommendations. So I could take some questions on that table if you want, but at this point, in the essence of time, I'd like to let Andy explain a little bit about phase 4.
2 minutes.
Thank you. Project execution is probably the main main portion of this project for the new City Hall project that I'll support. That doesn't mean I won't be involved in the planning phases that Alex just recently discussed. And we work through the construction and the design and setup of all that, and then on into occupancy. I will help with guiding procurement and contracting decisions, drawing on the best practices established by us to help deliver the approach that best suits the goal for the city in this project. Recently, I've done this process on a similar project, and I think that this pre-design phase really set the stage for a successful project. It helped the stakeholders understand the roles, participation in key decisions in early, and to create a smooth transition into the design and construction execution. During execution, I will additionally also oversee the budget, scheduling, quality, stakeholder coordination, while helping the team manage risk and make informed decisions. My goal is to become a trusted advisor for the city and help facilitate the services in the community as well for the years to come.
Thank you, Andy. I'll wrap up and just failed to mention we've been in this area for 25 years in Westlake. Our office is we overlook Westlake High School, so 2 miles from here. We are co-located with Westlake Fire Department and Capitol Review Complex, and so we're here. We're local. We're excited to be able to participate, and just look forward to answering any questions you have, and more importantly, get started as soon as possible to make your dreams a reality in this program. So, thank you very much.
All right. Anybody have any questions? Kevin, on there? Brooke, do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Okay. Anybody else?
One last comment I forgot to mention, introduce our boss, our founder, Dr. Jim Bowden, who's here at Westlake.
All right.
I told them they couldn't, my house is just stone's throw away from the
I thought you looked familiar.
Yeah, so I told them they couldn't come without me.
Well, you can address the question. There's been a lot of question about whether this firm is any relation to Brodish Chevron Station.
Actually, no,
They're
whenever-
great, they're
whenever I
great,
wanna
they're a
get
great
good-
station.
I know Bill,
Okay.
and whenever I want to get good service, I always say, you know my name. So
That's awesome.
that's about it. But no, this is we've been in this community since 1991. We built our house just right across the border
Okay.
in Westlake. Here, I can throw a rock from my house into Rollingwood, and but it's I think it's one of the greatest places in the whole state of Texas, quite frankly. So, always wanted to do the best for this area. So, thank you.
All right.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
For allowing us to use
Thank you for the time.
Oh, I do have one question. On the references that you've provided, that's Haltom City, Rockwell County, and Hayes County. Can we get references for the work you've done in Pflugerville and, let me see, Pflugerville and Cedar Park and Hutto?
Some of
And
those,
if you could provide those to Alan.
yeah, some of those things or those projects I think you're referencing to us on our resumes. And
Yes.
so those are references that Andy and I can work on. And yes, we can
Okay.
provide some more
Great.
information.
All right.
No
I
problem.
think they'll be a little closer to home.
Yes,
Okay,
we'll get that to you right away.
thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the time.
All right. Next up is agenda item number 3, presentation and discussion on the quarterly investment report for the third quarter. Thank you.
Nothing much has changed from the previous quarter. Currently, the city has invested all its funds, excess funds with Texpool. Current balance right now is $815,000. And year to date in this fiscal year, the city has earned $22,600 in interest on those investments. And the yield has been stable this whole year. It's been averaging about 4.3%. It hasn't changed much from quarter to quarter. Any questions?
I don't have any. All right, thank you. The next agenda item number 4 is presentation and discussion on the budget review for the third quarter.
As of June 30th, that's 75% of the fiscal year. Current property taxes, we've collected about 99% of the levy, which is a little bit higher than the previous year. I think a year ago we were about 98%. This year we're about 99%. And so that's of the estimated revenue we budgeted for this year. On the city sales taxes, the last few months we've been trending up in terms of the monthly collections. Right now, we've collected 89% of the estimated revenue for city sales taxes. On water sales, we've collected 83% we budgeted for this year, but that's slightly less than what we collected at the same time last year. On wastewater revenues, we also are at 83% of the money budgeted, but we have collected a little bit more than what we collected at the same time last year. The general fund overall, we've collected 84% of our estimated revenue, but bear in mind that between now and the end of the fiscal year and first part of the next year, we're not going to be collecting much in property taxes. I'm sorry. Expenditures, on the other hand, have been more or less flat in terms of they don't go up and down like revenues do because of the taxes. And right now we've expended 67% of the budgeted. So we're a little bit low, below what we should be at the end of June 30th. Water fund on revenue overall, we've collected 83% we budgeted. But on the flip side, we've only expended 57%. Now, probably weather may have an impact on all that. The more it rains, the less you're gonna be collecting and expending also. So we'll see what the rest of the summer holds for us. Same thing on the wastewater fund. We've collected 83% of what we budgeted on revenue. And the same thing on the expenditures. We're only at 62% of what we budgeted overall for in the wastewater fund as far as expenditures go. So if you're to ask me as far as the general fund is concerned, I think we're in very good shape in terms of monies that we budgeted for and where are we on expenditures. Any questions?
I have one.
Yes, ma'am.
Explain what the capital projects fund is. Is that, I'm just not clear on what that
The
is.
capital projects funds are where we record all the expenditures for any of the big projects. And the reason the council way back did it was they didn't want to commingle those expenditures with the operating fund. So you wouldn't muddy up the waters in terms of where are we from the operating point of view. Because you're gonna have a lot of big dollars expended from the capital projects like the drainage fund and the water CIP project and so forth. And you didn't want to muddy the waters with the operating fund.
Okay. And so it's showing 2,500 in revenues and over $1 million in expenditures. We'll reconcile that once we close out those projects to the bond
and-
funds. I
Right,
guess.
you gotta remember the revenues. You don't have much revenues because most of that money came from bond sales and tax notes.
Okay.
So that's not really revenue per se.
All right.
So that's why revenue and expenditures are not anywhere near close, because they were booked differently.
Okay. It's just a holding account for the
Yes, ma'am.
capital expenditures.
Right.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next up is the consent agenda. Is everybody okay with taking all of these together? Anybody want to pull anything out? Okay, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Phil, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Kevin, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, passed 5-0. The consent agenda passes. Next up, agenda item number 9, discussion and possible action on development of an oak wilt prevention, mitigation, and remediation program.
Yeah.
This
So-
is Kevin's.
Yeah, I want to apologize. I got my feedback to legal late, and legal gave us an update with my feedback very late today, so there isn't really time to review it. And we didn't fundamentally change a lot of the language, but I hate doing it that late, so I'm going to bring this back next month, give people a look at it. But if anybody has any feedback on what was there, on basically all the meaningful stuff, it's still the same. But I'd like any feedback now if anybody had any.
For the record though, I turned that around in like a day and a half.
You, this was on me.
Yeah, I
You did
was
a
gonna
great
say,
job.
I didn't do it late.
No,
It made it sound like I was.
I tried, not a lawyer, I was trying to say this was my fault, not yours. You were right.
No, I wasn't trying to cast blame, just making sure I
Yeah.
turned it around pretty
No,
fast.
and I thought it was I thought it was good work the first time. I was just misunderstanding for what I provided. So, but anyway,
Kevin, when you talk, can you pull your microphone down? I think we have, I know, but
okay.
in recording, it's hard to hear you. I did have one comment on that, just to keep in mind if you're looking at this again. On the water usage, I think we need to clarify the baseline, because the water usage above the baseline is proposed to be billed at cost plus whatever. I think we need to clarify what the baseline is, because a baseline in December is way different than the baseline in June. So we just need to clarify how that's going to be assessed.
I believe that we used the same language that we used for our program, and I believe it does it on usage on the same month in the previous year, and that's the base rate.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that that's the way we were doing it and not based on, like a yearly average or the winter averaging, community average or whatever, so, okay.
Yeah, the intent was to model it literally right after the water leak program.
Okay, good. Okay, we already did 10, so on to agenda item number 11. Discussion and possible action to receive a recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission and set a public hearing date on a proposed ordinance amending Chapter 107, Section 107-3 of the Rollingwood Code of Ordinances related to playhouses and playscapes.
Thank you. This is my agenda item and yours also. Planning and Zoning has looked again at the proposed playhouse playscape ordinance, and you'll see in the agenda the draft ordinance has now been P&Z is comfortable enough with this to recommend that it be set for public hearing, or send it back to council to set for public hearing. The council decision would be whether to hold a joint public hearing on that ordinance or to send it back to Planning and Zoning to hold a public hearing separately from the council. And the considerations there are, I think Planning and Zoning is very comfortable with this proposal. They would be ready to hold a public hearing on it. There's several other matters that will come before Planning and Zoning, but they're not ready yet. And it may be another couple of months before those get to the point of having a draft ordinance where they're ready for public hearing. So the question for the council is, do you want to send this back to Planning and Zoning and recommend that they hold a public hearing separate from council? Or do we want to set a public hearing, a joint public hearing that would take up, that would be, for example, a joint public hearing with Planning and Zoning before the August council meeting? We could do that as well. So that is what's up for decision.
Okay. Do we have anything else that we need to have public hearing for? Just from
We don't have anything, Planning and Zoning doesn't have anything ready at this point, and it'll be a couple more months before that will.
Right, I was just
ready.
trying to get a feel for, because of the cost of doing the public notice for a public hearing,
Yeah.
whether or not we had anything else that we needed to do a public hearing for outside
at the council.
of P&Z, or it would just be a P&Z thing, so that so we could economize.
Yeah, I just want to let y'all know that we will need the 30 days to send out the notice, so however y'all choose to do that.
What's the downside of waiting on this, other than just getting off our plate?
I'm sorry.
So I have this concern that Sarah brought up, like saving money and saving everybody's time. So the question is, what is the downside of waiting till we have this other stuff to queue together on this particular item?
It'll probably be then September or October before it could happen. If we want to do a joint public hearing then, if we have several things, it makes even more sense to do a joint public hearing than to do this. In my view, this would be a fairly simple matter to do at a joint public hearing before the council. It's one issue, it's been debated several times, it's been back and forth several times, there are complaints, we haven't done it yet. On the other hand, there's the cost of the mailed notice and publication. So that's the trade-off. What's on the table at Planning and Zoning now is we have three things. One would be an ordinance or a proposal to amend the tree protection requirements both for construction and non-construction situations. Are we protecting our trees when there's development, new house or in other situations. And then 2 relatively uncontroversial proposals. One is the changes to zoning procedures to comply with legislative changes. That's fairly simple. And the other one is a lot of nitpicking to eliminate conflicts and errors that are in the current code, non-substantive changes to eliminate code references and things like that that are not correct. So, and it's close to final, and the proposal to the ordinance for legislative changes is it is now pretty close to final, but P&Z hasn't had any hearing on it yet. They haven't had their own hearing on it as yet. And then the third one, tree protection, is probably it's in the beginning stages, I would say. So that's what else is currently before planning and zoning. There may be 1 or 2 other smaller things, but that's all I
Those are the big
am
ticket
aware of.
items right now.
So we could knock this one out, probably, or we could hold it and knock it out with the 2 uncontroversial, or hold it and have all 4.
Seems to me I hate having to do this again for a public hearing when we've already done public hearings for it already. So I like the idea of combining it with something else, especially if they're close, where we could set it for September or, get it in a month or 2, but just not right away for a separate hearing.
So you would rather, as I understand, you would rather hold it till there can be either, are you making a decision about a joint public hearing at this point, or just hold it till there's some more work that could be handled at the same time without deciding yet whether to do a joint public hearing? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Are there issues with the joint public hearing getting a quorum in August?
Well, I don't think we could do it by August. That's what I'm saying. But if we hold it till the other ordinances are ready, it's going to be September or October.
That's what I'm saying. Versus just doing this one off right now to try to do in August, we might have other problems. So I think wait until September or later is the better option.
Yeah.
It sounds like there are 2 things. One is bundling several issues together, and then the other issue is a joint hearing versus non-joint hearing. It seems like if we do a joint hearing and we bundle, then that, because of the notification and everything, that's the cheapest way to get these things done. Am I wrong about that?
If the city council and the planning and zoning commission had separate hearings, we'd still do one notice. We'd just call out both of those hearings separately.
Okay,
so it's a nominal cost. It's a few more words in the newspaper, but it's not enough that I base a decision on.
Okay. So, yeah. So back to Sarah's point of bundling several issues, but whether or not we have joint or not is more or less immaterial. So
Well, the joint requires people to come to our volunteers to come to another meeting,
we understand.
which is a cost that's frankly more expensive than the mailing one, in my opinion.
Are they having an August meeting?
P&Z, I believe they are. I believe they're planning on it.
We haven't
yes.
held them yet.
Okay. Yeah, but that would be it would be a short meeting if it's just for the public hearing for them, so.
Well, their public
Well,
hearing, we
they
would still
have
have to notice 30 days in advance, so it would not make a August public hearing for planning and zoning. The earliest that you could have a public hearing right now would be September, planning and zoning.
But if they have an August meeting, then they could have additional items potentially ready to put on that public hearing in August.
I don't think we'd have enough time still to notice.
If we had a public hearing at the city council meeting in September?
If you wanted to do a joint, if you wanted to do it at the council meeting, yes.
Right.
Yes, you're correct. Yes, we can do that.
Right. Okay.
But everything would have to fall in line at planning and zoning.
Yeah, that would be my preference.
All right. I don't think we need to take any action then. We'll, when the other items get ready for public hearing, then we'll bring it back.
Can we ask them to make a recommendation of when they want to do this?
Whether P and Z wants a separate public hearing, I don't think.
Or when?
They have, well, we could ask that, but I think from council perspective, we'd prefer to decide whether or not to do a joint public hearing or individual public hearing. So that's why they've not made a recommendation on that question yet.
Okay. So just ask them at the next P and Z meeting, just let them know what we're looking at in that.
And we still haven't made a decision on joint or separate hearings, so.
Well, and we can
Yeah.
get input from them on that too, whether or not it would be an inconvenience for them to come before a city council meeting for a joint meeting for, 30 minutes to have the public hearing, or if they.
I think they would well, I don't know what they'd like, but a joint meeting, if we had several things to knock out, I think everybody would appreciate doing that, which is doing that for one, and have to turn around and do it again the next month. That's where I think
Right.
people wouldn't appreciate it.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's right too.
Okay. All right. On to agenda item number 12 then, status report on the LCRA raw water rights contract.
So it's not a terribly exciting update at the moment. It is still going through the works. As noted in the cover sheet there on the one sheet, the city did retain legal counsel with it. Miss Adair out of Branscombe Law. She's been working with our city engineers, Lochner, to try and facilitate discussions with it. Nothing too far at the moment. We do have a hard deadline of September the 30th to have council's action on it. I think we should have some more news, if not a resolution for you or a final document here in August. But at the moment it's just still kind of being batted around in Lochner and with the legal counsel there to see how kind of the interplay of our contract with LCRA and with the city of Austin to make sure that we meet the legal requirements on all the reporting.
Okay. Anybody have any additional questions on that? Nope. All right. Agenda item number 13. Discussion and possible action on the nomination of one individual to be considered for election to a 6-year term on the Board of Trustees of the Municipal League, Texas Municipal League Intergovernmental Risk Pool for a term expiring October 1st, 2032.
So this one is kind of mine. This one came, and I don't know, I was feeling very excited by it when it came in the mail. I spoke to the mayor about whether he'd be okay with me possibly putting my name in the hat or having council put my name in the hat for it. If it's something you'd be interested in supporting me for going for the election for it, I'd love to have the nomination. If not, that's okay too.
I move that we nominate one individual, Alan Thomas, to be considered for election to a 6-year term on the Board of Trustees of the Texas Municipal League Intergovernmental Risk Pool for a term expiring October 1, 2032.
And for place
So
3.
long as he stays with the city of, no.
2032 sounds like a long way away, but I think it's not.
Well, that's my
That's 6 years.
Yeah.
6 years. All right. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. A motion by Brooke, second by Phil. All in favor? Oh, any discussion?
It was my dream job, but since he wants it so bad. I will vote yes for.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the opposed say nay. Okay,
Thank
motion
you.
passed 5-0. All right, that is the end of the regular agenda, and next item we have, executive session, item, number 14, executive session pursuant to section 551.074 of the Texas Government Code for discussion of personnel matters regarding the applications for and the appointment of a city secretary. At 8:57, we will go into executive session. Okay, we are out of executive session, no action was taken. Reconvening the meeting at 9:19. We are done with everything on the agenda. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you very much.